both that are done.
All right, well, we did have a UFC this weekend. It was the card of the year.
Honestly, I only watched the main event. Nothing else really piqued my interest. I know you guys hate when I tell you that, but here's the cold, hard facts. This card sucked. And it got worse because it lost its co-main event.
Grant Rawson was actually a pretty good fight. Did you see the knockout on the ground?
Nope.
That's Ellie Wagman's boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
But he's a big up-and-comer. Like, he's 17-1 now. He's 6-0 in UFC, so he's a big up-and-comer. And he looked great. So he was losing the first 2 rounds, came back. Yeah.
What weight class?
I'd like to say lightweight. I'd like to say lightweight. I could be wrong. Could be way off, but yeah.
Well, if you guys haven't yet, go check out Brady's interview with Ellie Wagman. It was really good. So, yeah, go take a look at that.
We'll just talk about the main event.
Dude, what a weird fight.
Yeah, it was pretty, it was different. It was different.
Like, okay, here's the thing. Holland had some amazing moments, but his fight IQ was absolutely non-existent. It was like he knew what was going to happen, but he allowed Brunson to clinch up with him and push him on the cage every round, even though he almost knocked him out multiple times during the fight. I don't think I've ever been as least impressed with the victor as I was after this. Derek Brunson won that fight, but did his stock go up? No. Did you say that this guy could do anything with anyone in the top 5? No. Like, he didn't. That fight did nothing for either of them.
But like I said though, it's what I explained last week. People just don't. You don't beat Derek Brunson unless you're going somewhere. Though.
Yeah, but again, we saw flashes that Holland could be that guy. He looked great in a few moments of that fight, but then it was just too few and far between. Like, it was just a weird situation. I don't even know what to take from it.
But end of the day is you owe me $10, and yeah, we're good.
We're good. Yeah, Kevin Holland said that he's going to try to cut down to 170. I don't think that's the right play, but what do you think about that?
He's really skinny, but he's really tall. So he's made 170 before. I don't think in the UFC, but we'll see how it goes.
He did come in at 183, so he made weight really easy. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know. What matchups would you want to see from him versus Masvidal at 170 maybe? That'd be interesting.
He's not going to get a top-ranked opponent, especially coming off a loss.
Well, let's just say hypothetical. In a hypothetical world, that fight happened. That'd be an interesting-ass fight, the way that he talks and then the way Masvidal doesn't give a shit.
Honestly, if I could go with any fight, it would be if Mike Perry wins his next fight against Rodriguez.
I still want the Hernandez-Perry fight, but I do like that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we did have some boxing this week that we didn't cover. Virgil Ortiz. I didn't even catch it. Didn't know.
Hey, so guys, we did you a disservice. We left you naked going this weekend, kind of like Brady was just showing his stuff off. We had Virgil Ortiz, one of the bright young stars of the sport, the best welterweight prospect on the planet, was taking on his biggest test to date, former junior welterweight champion Maurice-Hooker, in what was looking like it was going to be fight of the year. This was back and forth, all-out war. Both guys were hurt badly going into at some point in this fight, and then 6th round, Ortiz drops a Hooker with a devastating body shot. 7th round comes around, and Hooker lands a really good right hand, but on the top of Ortiz's head and breaks his hand. The fight stops. Like, it was so anticlimactic. We had like this fight of the year contender. The winner of that fight was probably going to be like maybe potentially fighting for a world title, and then that happens. It just sucks, man.
So Virgil won the fight technically.
Yeah, he won by technical knockout because he couldn't continue because of the hand injury.
Okay, so he keeps his O.
I think he's 17-0 now with 17 knockouts, something like that.
Well, it's good to think go the other way around. I don't know. You could run it back.
Yeah, they won't though because they won't. Like, Ortiz called out a ringside Terrence Crawford. Terrence was ringside because he's a stablemate of Maurice-Hooker. They're in the same gym. So Terrence was like, if you want that smoke, we can make that happen. What do you think about Terrence Crawford, Virgil Ortiz?
I just don't care about Terrence Crawford. So
your boy Spence was there too, and he didn't get his name mentioned because he's a bum and because he's not the man. That's what happened.
Who's more popular?
Spence.
Exactly.
Who's more?
So there you go.
Who's more skilled? Huh? Who's more skilled?
Spence.
You're a joke. Nobody that knows boxing would agree with that.
I think Spence would win. That's just my opinion.
So point is, Ortiz versus Crawford reminds me a lot of Canelo versus Mayweather. You got maybe the next guy up, but a little bit too young, taking on that guy. You might think he's old, but he's only 33. He's not that old.
I would rather see Virgil Ortiz versus Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, but Ryan's at 135.
Oh, shit, yes. Sorry. Brain fart.
I wouldn't mind seeing him fight like a Sean Porter, even a Kell Brook, something like that. I don't think we have to go all the way up to Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence right now. I think that's a bit too much.
Kell Brook would be problems for him too, though.
It depends what Kell Brook shows up. It's hard to say.
Exactly. But we do have some boxing this weekend.
Huge fight. We got the Dillian White, Alexander Povetkin rematch. If you remember that late last year, Povetkin actually knocked out Dillian White in a fight where he'd been dropped 2 or 3 times the round before.
Your favorite knockout of the year, right?
Oh, by far, it was my favorite knockout of the year. That shit was crazy. What do you think about this fight coming up?
I think in that fight, if we're not wrong, Dillian White was actually dominating the fight up to the knockout, right?
Yeah, he dropped him 2 or 3 times the round before, won every round. I think it went to the 4th or 5th round.
I think it's going to be very similar to that, but Povetkin's not going to get the knockout this time. This is going to be a dominant decision by Dillian White. I think he bounces back. He needs to bounce back. If he loses 2 in a row, the talk of him being a champion one day is over.
Well, here's my takeaways from that. I think when it was supposed to happen back in November or December, the rematch, that was going to favor Povetkin because I think it was too quick of a turnaround from that kind of a devastating knockout. I don't think Dillian White would have been the same. He would have been damaged and probably got knocked out again.
Yeah.
The longer the fight has been taken for him to recover, the better. Povetkin's only getting older. I think he's 42 now, 41.
Yeah,
42.
he is older.
So that's not doing him any favors. I'm starting to lean more towards Dillian White just because of the way that the fight was going the first time and because the age, the time that they've had in between fights. But that being said, I want Povetkin to win because there's no way this should be a rematch. When you knock somebody out cold like that, there should be a rematch clause. Like that's just that A-side promoter just making the best situation for his fighter. Like Eddie Hearn had that in there because he didn't want Dillian White to lose his spot in the queue. So I don't want Dillian White to win this fight. It's not good for boxing if you have Povetkin lose this fight and then there's not a trilogy. Because if Povetkin loses, there has to be a trilogy. Do you agree?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Would you want to see a trilogy?
I do. I agree, but it won't happen because Eddie Hearn's be like, oh no, we're done. That just like when AJ beat Ruiz the second time. You would assume they go to a trilogy fight, right?
Yeah.
No.
You got the upper hand. They're on top.
When you're the A-side fighter, this is the things that you get for it.
Exactly, and you got to go fight another bum. We do have some UFC this week. Is that it for boxing? There's no undercard to that?
Not
or
much.
Anyone we care about?
Not much there, but
I know sometimes you go in your hat and you start rambling about people, and we're like, "Who are these guys?" But there's none of that this week, right?
Yeah, I can't pull a name out of my hat for you, but we did have Artur Beterbiev got a win this weekend to get back in the win column. Hasn't fought since before COVID, and yeah, that's good. Just get that division rolling. Hopefully, we see him in Bivol next.
Oh yeah, Bivol. The light heavyweight's looking good. We do have UFC 260 this week. First of all, Brian Ortega versus Alexander Volkanovski got called off yesterday during the card. It's really shitty because it puts Volkanovski hasn't fought in forever now, first of all. Division isn't moving forward because you got Max, who deserves a title shot. You have other guys. The whole division is kind of weird because Beat's not competing, and then you got other guys that are up in the echelon that, like Kelvin Kattar, who just got dominated but still are top. And I find the featherweight division to be the most confusing division right now.
More than lightweight, where you have a champion finally got his belt taken away from him who is not the champion for the past 5 months.
Yeah, it's been crazy. That being said, Khabib retired, so let's tell the people if you're living under a rock. I do like.
That's not new. Khabib, this isn't news. Khabib has been retired for 5 months. This isn't news. Yeah,
I wonder if he loses his rankings in the pound for pound this week.
He's not. He shouldn't have been in the rankings. There's no ranking he should have been in. He should have lost his belt the moment he said, "I retire," just like Henry Cejudo. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this whole other division. I do like people are kind of complaining how Dustin Poirier doesn't get the shot. It doesn't make sense for Poirier. Like, you're going to get the shot regardless, and you're getting a money fight with Conor. To me, it's not selling. But listen, let's hear me out. When you do Chandler versus Oliveira, there's no, okay, Khabib, you know what I mean? It takes an equation that Khabib beat them out.
Yeah, okay, but you saying Poirier's going to get the shot regardless? No. If he gets knocked out by Conor McGregor, guess who steps into the title fight? Conor McGregor, not Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think Poirier would rather the money fight.
Oh,
Even
agreed.
if he wins or lose.
I completely agree. He's making a business decision. He already had a gold belt wrapped around his waist. The picture's there. If you want to see him with the championship, go back 2 years, 3 years, and you see him with the championship. Take the interim way all you want. He was the champ. Khabib couldn't fight for whatever reasons. Dustin was the champ. So if you want to make money, because that's what your job is, it's what you're supposed to do to provide for your family, take the Conor McGregor fight, especially a fight that you know you can already win because you've already knocked him out.
Exactly.
Sorry for my rant there. Welcome to my
you went off a little bit right there. You might have to clip that out. Anyway, you love your Dustin Poirier. And you used to call him a bum back in the day when you didn't know who he was. Just saying.
Yeah, maybe not. Who knows? Nobody knows. Anyways.
But we do have UFC 260. Opening the card, I think, on the early prelims, we'll talk about Gillian Robertson versus Brandon Maverick. That's on the card, right?
Okay, so I only had the regular prelims. Let me just open that. We have, Gillian Robertson versus Brandon Maverick got rebooked. So
we got Super Batty. I don't know why you're a hater, but I still think she's...
This is 2 Combat Hour alums, but you won't find the Miranda Maverick interview on our channel for undisclosed reasons. But if you want to go check out our Gillian Robertson interview, it's on there, and she was awesome. So definitely go take a look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think Miranda Maverick will win this fight, though.
She's getting submitted. I got Gillian.
Really? I think Miranda's is too strong.
Dude, I'm not. Yeah, she's physically imposing, but she has a hard time making weight, doesn't she?
I'm not too sure about that.
And I've been impressed. Gillian's getting right. She didn't have a great performance her last one, but she got the win, and she's been looking better.
She lost her last fight.
She lost her last fight?
Yeah, she got dominated actually.
Oh shit. Okay,
maybe I forget who she was facing, but she won not too long before that. She took a quick fight. Okay.
Well, yeah. Anyways, she's looking good. She's training with another Combat Hour alum. Sorry, the name is avoiding me. You've had her on. Sorry.
Hannah Goldie.
No, you've had her on 2 or 3 times.
Laura Murphy.
Yes, Miss Laura Murphy. Sorry for the brain fart. I'm getting old. But yeah, so those two have been doing a lot of rolling, and she looks good, man. I just think she can get the submission.
I just think in that division she's too small, and that's what you see in her last fight. But I really hope Gillian gets the win.
Okay, rolling on. That's Uba Bakr Nurmagomedov. Isn't that Khabib's cousin?
Isn't that the guy that has his last name? But
well, is that the one?
Yeah.
It's hard, man. I can't tell. I can't. There's so many Nurmagomedovs now.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. I can't. But Nurmagomedov should get the win. There was a fight under that I was interested in.
Okay.
Hannah Goldie, who was on the fight or was on our show this weekend.
Yeah, that's on the prelims. It's not on the early prelims.
Oh, okay.
You got Jessica Penne taking on Hannah Goldie. That's an interesting fight.
Penne is coming off like a loss, but before that, she was on a 3-year or 2-year suspension.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's Battle of the OnlyFans. They both have OnlyFans, so if you're not subscribed, go check them out.
Subscribed?
No, I'm not. I will be. But you do have. I think Hannah Goldie's actually gonna win this fight. Penne hasn't won it since like 2016 or something like that. And Hannah Goldie's looking strong, and I think strength is going to be the big difference in this fight. She's doing this clinch worker, and dirty box, as they say.
Yo, don't you dare! She's physically imposing for strawweight, no doubt about it.
Romero.
Okay, Kama Worthy taking on Jamie Malarkey. I'm gonna say hard next. Sean
I like
O'Malley,
Karma Worthy.
huh?
I like Karma, though. He's coming off a loss, which he was kind of a prospect. He should get to win here. That's kind of a gimme fight, in my opinion.
He's 16-7. That ain't no prospect.
I don't know. He's not a bad fighter.
Sean O'Malley coming off of his victory, as he likes to say, over Chito Vera, taking on Thomas Almeida.
Am I the only one picking Thomas to win this fight?
Yeah, I mean, Thomas has been on tough times. Isn't he on like a 2 or 3 fight losing streak right now?
3, yes, but he used to be a top contender. But he's long and lanky, and he's a slugger. So if anyone's going to beat O'Malley, I find it's going to be a guy on the feet who's a brawler. Like, to me, what I learned from the Cheeto fight is Molly doesn't hit well. He does not have a chin. That is my opinion. You might not think I'm wrong, but he does not like getting hit. Once he hit, did you see how fast he went? Like, I don't know. He just kind of gave up once the elbows started coming down on Cheeto. Cheeto. I think that. Huh?
It was a leg injury, not like he couldn't fight because his leg gave out, not because his chin.
But did you see when he was getting the elbows? Did he not go out?
Yeah, because he's getting an elbow to the face. You want me to elbow you in the face and see how you like it?
I guess, but look at I've seen in other fights, every time he gets hit, he doesn't like to get hit. And I think that Thomas is going to bring it into a brawl and just kind of go for the kill, and he's going to get the knockout.
I think that's a perfect stylistic matchup with Sean O'Malley. As much as I'm not a fan because I think he's corny, I think the way he handled his loss was terrible. He's a sniper with that right hand. I think a brawler is just gonna get picked apart. Like if this was like a Jose Aldo, Dominic Cruz, like a systemic, I knew what he's doing on his feet, not just coming in to brawl. I think they would make it tough for him. But I think if you come in just trying to go straight at him, you're gonna get knocked out.
I'm not saying on paper Sean O'Malley should win. Don't get me wrong and say, oh, you don't know anything about MMA, whatever. I'm just saying I have a feeling that Thomas Almeida is going to catch him while it's trying to turn it into a brawl.
I think they're giving him a layup here, man. I think they want to get him back on the winning ways, especially after the whole fiasco that he had with the podcast, and he wanted to try heroin and had Casey Kennedy on there, like disrespected Megan and Anderson. They got to get this guy back in the winning column.
Imagine if he loses.
I'm not cheering for him. I don't want him to win.
But if he loses, what happens? He turns into a heroin addict. Easy.
Yikes. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that alone. Okay, we're going on to the now co-main event. We got Tyron Woodley taking on Vicente Luque. Very, very tough fight to call.
Not really.
Okay. But if you look at Tyron at his best and Vicente Luque at his best, there shouldn't be in the same cage. Tyron knocks him out every time.
But end of the day, this is Tyron who is like, shouldn't he be a fighter? Doesn't know how to throw a punch. And he's fighting a guy who likes to brawl and get into a real fight.
Yeah, I just feel like there's 0-4, man, in the last 2 years. I don't know. I'm taking Tyron. I've been thinking about this one a lot. To me, this is a coin flip. You can either go with the hot hand, Vicente's look good, or Tyron Woodley only has to touch you once. Will he throw his hands? We don't know, but he only has to touch you once.
Oh, okay, listen. He's fought for almost 15 rounds, and we've said he only takes one. He hasn't been able to land a shot for 15 rounds. How many rounds has he lost? 15 or 14, whatever. Anyway, the guy is not even winning rounds. I don't think he can even be the top 15 guy anymore.
So are we comparing Vicente Luque to Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman, or Colby Covington? Is that what we're doing?
I'm saying that he can't beat anyone in the top 15 anymore.
I mean, yeah, but he had bad performances. That's a fact. But to say, like, take those performances and say that's what's going to happen when he fights a fighter that's a level or 2 levels maybe down from those guys.
He's not even fighting in his fights. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you got to do something in a fight to win a fight. It doesn't matter who you're fighting.
Okay. So I'm taking Tyron. You got Luque. How are you going to, via stoppage decision, what do you got?
I think he knocks him out in the third.
I got Tyron by stoppage. I can't see Tyron winning a decision anymore because he's so inactive. It's just he has to touch you once and so. So I'm saying Tyron knocks out. Also, let's say Tyron loses and he loses very similarly to the way he's lost his last 3 fights. I think he's gone. I think Tyron leaves the UFC.
Or he's cut.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna get cut. He's gone.
Oh, for sure, 100%. This is his last ride.
Which is crazy because he's still fighting in co-main events. That's nuts.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be. Really, he should be on the early prelims, but I don't know.
Could have elevated the O'Malley fight. They didn't. They elevated his fight.
Yeah, it's weird. They, I think they're mad at O'Malley a little bit though.
True.
So,
Okay. Anything else you want to say on that? You want to roll into the main event?
Woodley's a bum.
How dare you? That's my boy. How dare you?
Falling
out of love,
All right.
Okay. Stipe Miocic taking on Francis Ngannou. Okay, let me start with this one. Listen, people, listen. Why is Stipe the underdog in a fight that he's already won? He won, I think, every round. Maybe not the first round, but almost every round of that fight. It was domination. Coming off of back-to-back wins against maybe the greatest heavyweight in this era outside of Stipe, in Daniel Cormier. So, and who also is a better boxer than Francis Ngannou? Does he have the power of an Ngannou? No, but DC is a better boxer than Francis Ngannou. That's a fact.
Yeah. Even though you see him doing this with Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I don't think. I think Francis Ngannou, first of all, is a very, very sluggish. Not the best. He's not the best fighter. Period. He's very sluggish. I think head movement is what makes Francis go crazy. And what did Stipe do against Francis the best? Head movement, and then he avoided the big shots. He ate some shots, but people are saying he ate shots, but Stipe actually took shots lighter than he would have if it wasn't for the head movement. But I honestly think, I got going back and forth on this one, I don't think you're going to see much stand-up in this fight. There was a lot of ground game in the first fight. Stipe will get him down within 30 seconds.
No. He didn't get him down. If I remember correctly, I've only watched it once, but I don't think he got him down in the first round in the first fight.
He threw him down at the end of the first round. A huge takedown.
Okay, so that's 5 minutes has passed.
But you got to realize, I don't think Stipe was also scared to get in that deep. Now I don't think he's going to be. And we all know, I don't care how well Francis improved. We don't know if he's improved. I don't think his tank is there. It's impossible, really, for him to be his tank to be there great for 5 rounds. And I think he's easy to take down. And I think Stipe will be able to take him down so much easier now.
Yeah. So here's my thing on that. We have the questions that we need answered though. Has Father Time caught up with Stipe? I don't think so. Has the damage caught up with him? Again, I don't think so, but we'll find out. Has Francis's hands improved? That we know that is not. They haven't, because if you go watch that Rosenstrike fight, there was nothing impressive about what he did to Rosenstrike. He literally just came forward throwing weird shots, and he missed more than he landed.
Yeah.
And the other thing we don't know, has his grappling improved or his tank improved? We don't know because he's only fought for a total of, I think 4 or 5 minutes in his last 3 or 4 fights.
And are we taking, I'm not saying ring rust, are we taking ring rust out of this? Because he's fought for 2 minutes and 50 seconds in the last, since the loss to Derek Lewis.
Right? Yeah, but Stipe only fights once a year, though. So what do you mean?
But he's going 5 rounds at least.
I guess. I'd rather be in there.
And he's fought before Francis. I'm saying once this goes to the second round, you know what's going to benefit Stipe.
Yes, I agree. But I would rather have the more consistent outings that Francis has had that are quick than fighting once a year. I wouldn't want to fight once a year.
But Francis has been fighting once a year too, pretty much.
Just this year. Last year he fought
twice,
yeah. But
he's fighting for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of questions to be answered. My final pick, I've been going back and forth on this one a lot too. It's hard to say. This isn't one that I'm not going to put money on this. I'm not going to bet on this because Francis could end you at any point in time. We know that. It's a fact. So it's a hard thing to bank on, but I'm going to say Stipe Miocic gets a unanimous decision.
I love your pick. Honestly, in a perfect world, I would love Stipe to win and retire. Francis catches him in the first round and knocks him out.
Okay, it could happen. It could happen.
Because Stipe is like my hero, and have you seen the shape he's in right now?
No.
Well, did you see how good in shape he was in the last fight?
Yeah.
He's lost more weight coming up to that. So he's looking super lean, ready and fast.
I don't know if I want him to come in lighter than that, but hold on, I was gonna say something. I completely blanked. It is better for the sport if Stipe loses this fight because Francis Ngannou, he wants to be active, he wants to fight. Stipe fights fires for a living, okay? He'll only fight once a year, twice maybe if you force him, but once most likely. So
And they want the Jones fight.
And they want the Jones fight. So win or lose, there's going to be no rematch. Doesn't matter who wins this. There won't be a rematch until after the Jones situation.
Even though Stipe should get an immediate rematch.
Right.
Which is horrible.
I don't know. For me, I think Stipe deserves to win this and right off in sunset, or take that Jones fight then right off in sunset. But we'll see what happens.
Even if Stipe loses, we might get Jones versus Ngannou.
Yeah, well, that's what will happen if Stipe loses, 100%.
For sure. All right, is that everything we got this weekend? We're not forgetting that Clarissa Shields fight?
We're not. But go check out Rafael Lovato interview. We talked about his return to jiu-jitsu, hit the Grand Prix Bellator's putting on for the light heavyweights, and we talked about the Brunson Holland fight as well. So go take a look at that.
And check out the Hannah Goldie interview, who fought this weekend, or fighting this weekend.
Yeah, check those out, guys.
And subscribe to OnlyFans. We're out. All right.